Einen herzlichen Applaus für Orlando Owen, der für heute... Also, danke für dir und viel Erfolg, ne?
Danke dir.
These ladies are a little shy. I'm sorry, I'm gonna... Hey, how you all doing? You doing good? All right. I'm Orlando Owen, and I'm German-American. I would like to speak in English to you if it's possible. I speak German, but it's not very fluent when it comes to these things. I learned a lot of hypnosis, syntax, the way things work, and it just doesn't flow in German for me. Maybe I can learn from some of you guys how to do this stuff in German, because I don't really understand it a lot. But I got my trusty clock here, so I know I'm not going overtime. Wow, a lot of people here, a lot of men. A lot of strength, a lot of anticipation. Okay, let's do it. In the United States, I run a program called Magic Male. It's a pretty new thing for me. I've done it for a while. I used to call it Authentic Male Power. And what I do is I help men, pickup artists, aspiring pickup artists, seducers, to kind of come to grips with what it means to be a man. It's a very confusing thing these days. And I think part of the reason you're all here is to kind of reconcile all this stuff that's been thrown at you for 50 years from society, the media, from women. It's a tricky thing. So what are we? Puas, PUAs, pickup artists, men, seducers? I grew up in Germany, and I left when I was about your all's age, about 20 or so, 19, 20, and I left Germany as a boy, and now 27 years later, I'm coming back as a man, or at least I like to think of that, of myself as that. I do a lot of empowerment work in America. American men have been very confused about their role. A lot of powerful women out there. And the men in my programs, they do the opposite of what I did. They come as boys and they leave as men. It's a tricky thing. So I call this whole thing re-masculation. What do I mean by re-masculation? Well, as I said, in today's society, men have lost their way. There's a lot of criticism. A lot of guys have been accused of, oh, you know, you guys are all the same. I've heard this in Germany, I've heard it in America. They say, you guys just want that one thing. Männer wollen immer nur das eine. To which I say, you say that like it's a bad thing. What's up with that? I mean, it's like... But what's really scary is when they say things like, where have all the men gone? There's no more real men. And that's not a good thing when women say that. A lot of guys have been taught. A lot of guys have been raised by single moms in the last 50 years. And dads were either absent or very overbearing, killing your spirit. I had one of those dads, and he was German, and he made me feel very inferior a lot of times because I just wasn't his idea of, you know, a tough guy. But yet he was tough, and yet he was not a man in the sense that he came from insecurities. That's why he needed to show force, threatening. Real men don't need a show of force. They sort of know who they are. They kind of rest in themselves. They're just strong. And when girls tell us today there's no more real men, they got a point. If you look at the people you see in the media, industry in Germany, a lot of guys are just kind of like, oh yeah, well, I just want to be this or want to be that. They don't really project any energy. They want to be nice guys. They want to be a provider. I don't know, how many of you have seen like the whole David D'Angelo, the Advanced series? It's sort of like the basis for, if you watch nothing else, that is one good thing to watch. I'm not saying you have to embrace every little idea he says, but it will give you a very good mindset about what it means to just be not just a nice guy, the wuss. And a lot of stuff comes from that program. Half the poo scene is based on that program in a way. You know, we all have that cocky and funny thing, that's David D'Angelo, and a lot of other ideas, but there's a lot more to it. So how do you bring back that stuff? No more real men? To which I say, let's bring back the real men. Let's be real men. Let's become real men. Let's show them that we are real men. I call it reclaim your authentic male power. So